Hey, what's up guys, it's still from Final Concept. So today we are going to merge both text and image in a photo like what you are seeing on your screen at the moment. So let's get started. So let's go ahead and open up our application. This is the image I'm going to be using, and I prefer this one to any other image because I have my full body in here. From my head to my feet, you can basically see every part of me. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab the quick selection tool and just select subject from here at the tools bar. Now if you are using older versions of Photoshop, you may have to do the selection yourself. Now if I grab the zoom tool Z on my keyboard, you notice that the selection isn't so perfect. So I'll grab my lasso tool, L on your keyboard, or just right click and select lasso tool from here, and I'll just add in a bit of the selection. So holding down the shift key to add the selection, then the alt key will be to subtract a particular selection. Now you may have noticed I'm not actually doing this perfectly because this is a tutorial. I have to speed things up. I wouldn't want to waste you guys' time. But if this was a project that I was actually doing for a client, I most definitely will use the pen tool to create my selection because I feel that tool makes me more precise as opposed to leaving it to Photoshop to do that for me. So let's just fast forward from here because again, I don't want to waste the time, too much time creating the selection alone. Okay, so now that we have our selection, I'll just select the quick selection tool one more time, right click and go to layer via copy or via copy. Then if we zoom out, let's see how much space we have. Now you notice that we have two layers. One of it is our image. Let me turn this thing off, it's kind of distracting. So what I'm going to do is actually fill this space up with fill color, so any fill color of your choice. So go into the adjustment panel, which is right down here, and click on it and go to solid color. You can also choose gradient and any of that also works as well. Now this works best if you select some parts of the color from the clothing, so it makes everything merge seamless. So I prefer choosing more of the green color from here. I think I would rather want to go into the darker areas. So I think somewhere around here is fine. Click on OK. Now I would also want to resize this. So I want to make this a square. Let me stretch this out like so and like so. Click on OK. And we have our fill in there like that. Now I actually created a duplicate so that at any point in time, if I want to go back to the main image, I still have it here. So basically that's how, and that's why we create so many duplicates. So now we have this. The next step is to create our text. So I'll grab the type tool. We have the horizontal type tool and we have the vertical type tool. I'll pick the horizontal type tool for this one and just click on it and type in a name like THEYO and select a specific font for it. This time around I'll go with Montserrat because why not? You know what, let's go with the Dosis font and make it extra bold. Now I'll try and leave links to all the fonts or anything important in the description below, so be sure to check them out. And I also increase the size to about 300, just trying to see if it will fill up everything. Okay, I think that is looking quite nice. Now the idea here is to flip this around. Ideally, we would want to arrange the name vertically, but I prefer to flip it around to make it more confusing. So I'll grab the move tool. We use the move tool for moving objects, for transforming them, and for altering their shape. So I'll bring my move tool over to any of the corners, any of the four corners, and you notice that it changes to this curvy or double arrow curved thing. So what it basically allows us to do is rotate it however we want. So we rotate it about 90 degrees anti-clockwise. I can type it in here and click on OK. So I just move it to cover my entire body like so, and I may probably stretch it out just by a bit. So I think somewhere around here seems perfect. Okay, now let's place both of these two layers at the center. Now I'll prefer a white color as compared to the black color of the text. So I'll double click on the thumbnail of the text, the big T here. And this will allow me to select the color and change it to a white color and click on OK. Now after doing this, this is where the magic happens. So there's something called layer mask, which basically means, we use masks to cover certain things we don't want to show, for our faces for example. So anytime we create a mask, we are using the mask to cover certain places of the image that we do not want to show. So before we do that, just hold down the control key and click on the thumbnail again. So this is going to create a selection around the text that we created. If you do the exact same thing but for the image, it will create a selection around the image, as you can see. But we actually want the selection around the text, so we'll do that and we have the selection around the text. Now once you are done, once you have your selection, go to the image. Let me just name this image. Go to the image, make sure it is selected. So I'll go into the lowest option and click on the layer mask, and that should create something interesting for us. But this is looking pretty nice already, but this is not what we want. So we want to reveal certain parts of our image. Now as you may have noticed that on the layer mask, which is this one, this additional layer, we have our text being white and it is surrounded by black. Now what this allows us to do is, if you notice, you see that any part that we have the white being there, the image is going to show. So you can see we have a circle with a white, that's why the image is showing only where that white is. So if I grab the brush tool, any of the brush tool, I'll probably select the hard round for this. Now the idea is, because it is white, white is going to reveal, then black is going to hide. So if you alternate between your foreground and background colors, then you can make changes to this particular image or the layer mask. Now you can, instead of just going down here and clicking all the time, you can just use the keyboard shortcut X. Just press the letter X and it will alternate like so. So I'll select black, I'll select white first and see, because I want to reveal, I'll select white. I want to show more of my face. Then I think I want to show more of my body too. So right around here, I want to reveal all of these parts. Oops, I overdid it. So right around here, let's just show this part as well. Okay. I do not want to show this part of the arm. I'll create the selection again, so maybe invert it using Control Shift and I. Now I can take out so X for the black one. I can take out this particular portion. I do not want that part to show. So if I deselect my selection, I grab my brush tool again, B on the keyboard, and brush over at where I want to show. I think right around here is fine. Okay, now let's zoom out and see what we have. So my face is basically showing. This is quite fine, and we will want to also make some other adjustments. So at this point, I may want some part of my body to also show, like my legs for example. So I'll grab the brush tool again, B on the keyboard, and brush over the certain places I want to reveal. So I want, maybe just one leg should come. Let's see how it is looking like. This is perfect. Then maybe at this point, I also want my shoe to also come. So I'll grab the brush tool again and brush over that particular area. Now again, if you want to hide, just change it to black and brush over. Now I should have mentioned that everything you are doing should be on the layer mask, not anything else. So you notice that I am not selecting the actual image, I'm selecting the layer mask, and I'm working on the layer mask. If you select the image, it's just going to start painting. Now we do not want that, so make sure that the layer mask is what you are working on. Now basically what this does is, if we hold down the shift key and click on the layer mask, we can just turn this before and after. We can hide the layer mask or disable it. Instead of doing that, you can also just right click and go to disable layer mask, like so, or just hold down the shift key. So either one should work. So let's see if we can do more damage to this image. I may want to show my arm too as well. Let's see how it is like. So the brush tool is active. I'll change the color to white. Let's review this part, maybe just some parts of the arm. Notice the clothing is also showing here, so I'll grab the brush tool one more time and take this part out. Let's see what we have. So this is looking quite interesting already. So yes, this is something that I would want to go with, but we are not done. You can add certain things to it. You can edit the image to make it more better. You can add in some effects, which we are going to do right now. So with the text Theo, I'll go into the FX channel, the thumbnail right here, or basically you can just double click on the extreme right of it. So double click, this should bring up the layer style, and we are going to add in what we call the glow, so the outer glow, like so. You may or may not have to increase your opacity. I do not know which image you are using, and this is more or less like self preference. So I'll just go with 50%, increase the size to however I want it. You may have to increase the spread to as well. Again, I do not know the resolution of image you are using, so about 80 should be just fine for me. And you know what, I'll make it about 50, and I'll just tap on OK. So this is what we have before and after. Now if this isn't looking cool to you, you can obviously just get rid of that. So basically this is it. You can create these sort of images and all of that and make this your own. Just play around it, change the colors, make sure that you have certain things that you want to be included in the whole image. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel and our other channels, which I have them linked below, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Final Concept, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.